Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're trying out a super fun team built by 2017 World Champion Ryota Otsuba. We featured a couple of Ryota's teams on this channel already, and if you don't follow him on Twitter, I'd highly recommend it because he's always posting really cool teams that he's built on his Twitter. So that's linked in the description below. Today's episode features a really fun team with Flip Turn Swampert into Weakness Policy Cinderace. Cinderace was really common in Series 5, but it's kind of fallen off the map just because players are opting for new kinds of hyper offense like Thundurus or Shifunaoigo, for example, or going back to Dragapult. Regieleki is also very common on hyper offense. So, oops, clicked out there. This Cinderace is really strong. You can activate Weakness Policy immediately, and the cool thing about using Flip Turn is you can immediately go out into Clefairy or Torkoal, which further supports Cinderace either through Friend Guard or by setting up the Sun. To round out the team, you also have Galarian Zapdos and AV Rillaboom. Zapdos is really interesting right now. It's not that common in the format, but I think it's actually really strong. First of all, being base 100 speed means you actually outspeed the majority of the metagame, especially Urshifu, which is one of the staples in the format right now. So being able to outspeed that, I think, is a really big deal. And you also get just really, really good offense, you know? A same type attack boosted Max Knuckle or Close Combat does so much damage, especially when you support it with Clefairy and Helping Hand as well. So lots of cool stuff to go with on this team. I'm a big fan of it. You also have that Protect on Cinderace, so you can max guard, and that often catches players off guard because most people, when they play against Cinderace, just don't expect it to have Protect because in Series 5, you know, it typically would run 4 attacks. So lots of good stuff to work with here. Thank you to Ryota for the team. Thank you to you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get started with today's episode. With us trying out Galarian Zapdos, question of the day, I want to know what your favorite fighting type Pokemon is. Let me know in the comments below. My answer would probably be Hariyama, just because of how critical it was to my favorite VGC team that I've built of all time. That was back in VGC 2014 for the World Championships, and then my post-Worlds team, which was an adapted version of that. And that featured Hariyama. It was a really cool Pokemon to use in that metagame just because it was really bulky, had access to close combat, so you can one-shot like Kangaskhan. I also ran a rock-type attack, so you can one-shot Charizard. And it was just super, super bulky as well. So that'd probably be my answer. Kind of more of a niche answer, but there are a lot of cool fighting types out there. And, you know, fighting type Pokemon have done pretty well in VGC historically. It's good coverage. Hitmontop was a staple for many years, especially in 2012, 2013, but also winning the World Championships in 2016. Scrafty, obviously, a very prominent one as well. And, trying to think which other ones like stand out and jump out to me immediately. Pheromosa was around in 2017. That was more of like a coin flippy Pokemon, but it was very terrifying to go up against. And it's actually back in the format now. You know, I've actually played against a couple of Pheromosa on the ladder. It's very different from 2017. A lot of people are using more support-oriented sets, like using coaching, for example, speed swap. There are a lot of fun shenanigans that you can pull off with that kind of set. So, yeah. Let's just look for our first opponent of the day. Also, you know, I've been cycling through teams still every 2 episodes, so I hope you guys are okay with that. At the end of the day, my goal is to try to just feature really fun teams that are also competitively viable. First game of the day, we're up against Sun. Okay, Sun is really common right now. Like, Torkoal Venusaur is actually everywhere, and it feels like Series 5 again. Okay. So the main threat in Sun is going to be the Venusaur, right? So I actually think Galarian Zapdos is really good here. What am I worried about? Tornadus into some setup, but I don't know if that's really that scary. Like, I think Galarian Zapdos is very good here. Swampert Cinderace would also be decent, but like, Venusaur can do a lot of damage into Cinderace, which I'm not the biggest fan of. The question is whether I need to lead Clefairy immediately, because I could go Zapdos plus something else, say Zapdos Rillaboom, for example. Clef is pretty easy to lead, but if my opponent leads Torkoal Venusaur, you can just max Ooze into... I guess you can max Ooze into either of these, actually, now that I think about it. I don't have a Lumberry on this either, so I'm worried about, like, just a blind Sleep Powder onto the Zapdos on turn 1. That could be kind of scary. It would feel really weird to bring Rillaboom into this, right? Like, it'd only be for Fake Out. It doesn't do damage into my opponent's team at all, actually. Okay. So then maybe it's... I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go Zapdos, Clef, Cinderace, and Swampert. The reason why I still like Swampert here is because in the late game, if I knock out Venusaur, Swampert actually hits the rest of my opponent's team for super effective damage. So I can actually use it offensively here as opposed to just the classic flip turn setup, which I think you'll typically aim for if you're bringing it out with Cinderace. But the reason why I don't feel super confident in Swampert Cinderace here because my opponent could just lead Torkoal Venusaur. If you lead that, then you can just go Grass type attack into Swampert turn 1. But it's going to be Landorus Bisharp. I am not complaining about that because this is the beauty of Zapdos. We just get a Defiant boost immediately. And we're faster as well here. So, this is actually kind of a dream turn 1 to be honest. Especially because I don't think my opponent really has switch-ins into Galarian Zapdos here. So, this is very good. Like, super, super good. Question is what I want to do. If you look at, they don't have a single Pokemon that resists flying other than Bisharp, and that's already out on the field. So, honestly, I think I can get away with just Dynamax, Airstream, and Helping Hand into Landorus. Yeah, I'm super down for that. Because the Iron Head shouldn't KO a Clefairy here, and a Helping Hand plus 1 Max Airstream should KO even Dynamax Landorus. Now, I don't think Landorus maxes here, but if it does, like, I think Zapdos just wins this on turn 1. So, this is the classic, like, you know, use of a Defiant. Having a Defiant user in the game, in your team. My opponent actually has one in Bisharp as well. So, the idea is that, like, if your opponent leads incorrectly and brings their Intimidate to try to cover for your other options, and that's one of the nice things that this team does, right? You have Cinderace. Cinderace is often going to bait out that Intimidate immediately. Well, now I baited Landorus to intimidate the Zapdos. You give me a Defiant boost immediately, and I outspeed you. So, this is also why Zapdos is really good right now. A lot of the popular Pokemon are actually just under that base 100 speed mark. For example, Landorus, Urshifu, Galarian, Moltres, and so being able to outspeed all of those is really nice. My opponent correctly does not Dynamax here. I think if they did, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But they are Scarf Lando, okay. So they do go for a Rock Slide. That may... I am wondering if now you can KO the Clef with an Iron Head. Because that might be kind of bad. I don't know if that'd be that bad, though. I mean, the main fear is if my opponent lands a Sleep Powder with Venusaur in the back. Anything else, and I feel like I'm not really that concerned. But they actually go Iron Head into Zapdos, which I'm more than okay with. Yeah. The Friend Guard is super valuable here. So, yeah. I think Zapdos plus Clef is a pretty fun duel right now in the metagame. Flying Fighting gives you very good coverage against a lot of common Pokemon right now. And Entei comes out interesting. Okay. I'm not worried about that at all, to be honest. I guess my only fear is getting burnt. Like, I kind of am down to just Helping Hand Airstream here again. Even if you protect the Entei or Max Guard and Bisharp KOs Clefairy, like, I think that's fine, because then you just give me a free switch-in. The reason why I'm not targeting Bisharp is because I think Bisharp probably has a Focus Sash anyway. So, the Helping Hand here just helps out if Entei Dynamaxes. If it doesn't Dynamax, that's fine as well. And I have two Pokemon that threaten Bisharp immensely in the back with the Cinderace and the Scarf Swampert, so... Not really that worried about Bisharp here, and they're going to Dynamax, so let's see who it's maxing. Like, you would think it's Entei, right? Because if it's Bisharp maxing, I'm just going to crush you with Fighting-type attacks. Let's see. Yep, it is going to be Entei. Which is fine by me, right? If you're maxing Entei, that also means you can't Sacred Fire burn me, which is a really big deal. So, now my question is, did you go for a Max Guard this turn? I think that would probably be my opponent's best option. Okay, we get the Helping Hand off. Okay, good Max Guard. Very good Max Guard. I think they kind of needed to go for that, honestly, in this position. So, not going to Bisharp may have just, like, secured us up the game. But I think it's fine to respect Sacred Fire there. Oh, we survived, too. That's so nice. That's huge. Okay, given that survival, my only question is whether Helping Hand plus 1 Airstream KOs Entei. I don't know. I don't know. But I think it doesn't matter, right? Even if I don't, you're not KOing the Zapdos. So I'm just going to go for it. I mean, I think Follow Me may be a little bit safer. Last turn I could have knuckled into Bisharp. Like, yeah, Entei max, but that's already one turn of their Dynamax done, right? After this next turn, it's going to be 2. I bring out Cinderace, double protect. That's 3. You're back to normal, and then Swampert puts in work. Okay, so we get Helping Hand plus 1 Airstream off. Ah, so close. So close. Alright, can't complain, though. So let's see who Entei targeted this turn. It's going to be Max Flare, yep. Into Zapdos, yep. Yeah, look how good that Friend Guard is. Like, Iron Head here won't even KO us. Even if my... I was going to say, if you have Assurance, maybe, but it's just going to be Iron Head into Clef, which is fine by me. So, I think... Yeah, if I knuckled Bisharp last turn, then the Airstream, Helping Hand Airstream would have KO'd Entei this turn. I just really didn't want to get burnt. That was my main fear, but I think it's fine. Because now I can just bring out the Swampert, I think. I think we go Swampert first. Yeah, because I also don't think my opponent expects Scarf Swampert, so I can just use Scarf Swampert to... I can protect Zapdos, Earth Power, Entei. My fear, though, is if my opponent has Venusaur in the back. However, if you have Venusaur, you can only have one Focus Sash, right? And that's probably likely on Bisharp. So, safest play here is honestly to... I don't even need to detect, do I? I don't think I do. The thing is, I don't want to close combat because it will lower my defense. Also, I guess, like, how does Entei actually do damage into Swampert? I don't know if it can. So, maybe it's okay to detect here. We're at +2 speed as well, so like, even if you max strike, that's not that concerning. Oh, but I guess you'll do damage through me. Yeah, I think it might be fine to just go Blaze Kick into... No, I don't want to risk missing. I'm going to close combat. And Earth Power into Entei. Because I don't think you ever see the Scarf Earth Power coming out right now. Oh, they actually max guarded Entei though, okay. Alright, we get close combat off. They are sashed. But that's fine, right? Because now I have Scarf Earth Power. And I have the Cinderace in the back. So I can just pick up a double KO this next turn. Venusaur is the last one though. This is still scary, honestly. Because it will just knock out my Swampert. Yeah, I guess I should have doubled up there, but... I also could have protected, but I was worried about Entei going for Max Flare. Like, the thing is, now I should be able to pick up a double KO. Oh, and actually, we have a nice play here. We can change our typing with Cinderace. How many turns does Sun are left? 2. 2 after this turn. I think it's gotta be Venusaur in the back, which is the problem. So... play I want to go for is Protect, so I don't eat up a Sucker Punch and KO the Bisharp. I could also just pick up a double KO here, right? Because if you have Venu in the back, you're not going to be sashed. My one fear is Sucker Punch, like, double up into the Swampert slot right now, but I think that's really unlikely. Yeah, I think Protect Earth Power here is fine. If we also manage to stall out the Sun, we'll win against a potential Venusaur in the back. So this game I played really safe, and maybe I should have pushed the tempo a little bit, because with Venusaur in the back, potentially, this could be kind of scary. They actually Extreme Speed. Okay, I would think Extreme Speed Sucker Punch then? Yeah, nice. That's the beauty of having Protect on Cinderace here. Okay. However, if you have Venusaur... I guess with Venusaur, you could still win, right? Because you can just go Extreme Speed and... a Grass-type attack now? So what is the last one? Oh, it's Torkoal. Okay, nice. We win then. But because we actually would have lost to a Venusaur endgame here, I needed to play better, I think. I played a little too safe, and in the end, I could have gotten punished for it, and I think that could have been pretty scary. Just seeing what the best play to do here is. Entei's revealed E-Speed, Sacred Fire. I think the right play is to just double up onto Torkoal. I don't want to Iron Head because that won't change my type. So yeah, I'm just going to Pyro Ball Earth Power into Torkoal here. Pyro Ball does the most anyway. Entei protects too. Perfect. Nice. I think a Venusaur endgame here would have been really scary because my opponent actually naturally set up the Sun, which I didn't really consider. Is that AV? Ooh. Yeah, that took Earth Power really well. A lot better than I expected it to be honest. How well does it take Pyro Ball here, though? Are you buried? No, okay. He Solar Beams. That's fine, though, right? Because I don't think Torkoal can hit the Cinderace now. There's probably one-shot Swampert, though. I honestly thought that double up would definitely pick up the KO. So, kind of surprised by that, to be honest. I want to say it's Assault Vested. There's no way you take it that well otherwise, right? Now I'm worried about Extreme Speed Earth Power into Cinderace. Okay, then I think we just Pyro Ball Torkoal, right? Yeah. Because then... yeah. Because I don't think Torkoal can protect here. And with us being Fire-type, Entei shouldn't do much damage. Unless it has... well, we've seen... yeah, just Extreme Speeds. Okay. Yeah, and that's not a 2-hit KO. So as long as we hit Pyro Ball, we win. Okay, nice. Was that really AV Torkoal? I've never seen that before. Like, it's almost always Berry, Charcoal, or Specs. So that's the case. That's really interesting. Sunlight fades. It's fine. We just go Iron Head here, I think. Unless, like, Libero Iron Head doesn't KO. It's just that I can miss Pyro Ball. There's no way it doesn't KO, right? Because if I miss, Extreme Speed did 50. It's Libero. It's gotta KO. Like, Entei's at, like, 10%. Yeah, they just Extreme Speed again. Which is also fine, because now I change myself into Steel typing. So even if I don't KO, another Iron Head does. Yeah. This was closer than I wanted it to be, though, for how good our start was. And I think that's because I just kind of played too safely. I thought we had enough of a lead where I could get away with playing safely. But had I just gone Max Knuckle into Bisharp, the turn Entei protected, that's like an insta-win. Because then Helping Hand Airstream KOs Entei the next turn. I was thinking Airstream would KO, Helping Hand Airstream would KO. We were off by like 10%, so I didn't know my Zapdos calc super well, so it's good to know that. Yeah, because if I get that attack boost, I bring Bisharp down to the Sash immediately, I get the attack boost, and then next turn it's a knockout on 10-10, and then we just win the game immediately from there, even I think if you have the Venusaur in the back. Because then, like, the main thing is that if the sun doesn't go up, we should win the game, right, with Swampert and the Cinderace in the back. But that was a pretty scary endgame, all things considered, for how good the lead was. Like, normally if you lead into Defiant, it should just, like, be an insta-victory if you play well, but I played maybe a little too safe, and that endgame, like, while we ended up winning without, like, any RNG or anything, the reality is that my opponent had Venusaur. I needed to kind of change up how I played that. So I think in retrospect, we needed to push the tempo a little bit more, because I didn't think about the possibility of a natural Max Flare to set up the Sun for Venusaur. Another Sun team here. Like I said, Sun is everywhere right now. Like, Torkoal Venusaur is back in the format. It is really running around right now. But that's why I think this Zapdos is kind of compelling. Feels like it's another Zapdos game. Now, what is Zapdos worried about here? It's probably going to be that Cinderace. Sorry, not Cinderace. It's the Togekiss. I was thinking about Cinderace as a counter to it. It might just be the same 4 Pokemon from the last game, honestly. Now, Torkoal's not bad here, especially because it can Yawn and Burning Jealousy Venusaur, but I think I'm down to just go Zapdos, Clef, Cinderace, Swampert again. Sad because, like, Cinderace, Swampert is such a cool core. But we haven't been able to use it yet because of the, all the sun that we're going up against. Like, Venusaur just is such a big problem that I can't leave that immediately. Although I guess in the last game, Cinderace Swampert would have been decent, considering my opponent didn't even burn Venusaur. What would I have done there? They were Scarfed, actually, so then they could Scarf EQ switch out, which is kind of scary. Togekiss Garchomp. This is pretty scary, but I don't know if I had a really good lead into this either. I also don't know if Helping Hand Max Airstream KOs the Togekiss, because if so, that's the play I want to go for here. They also could Dynamax this Togekiss. I think it's support-oriented, and you're going to Swords Dance with Garchomp. Like, that's my guess, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm down to just Helping Hand Airstream turn 1, because I think we need to get rid of Togekiss in this game. I didn't have a great lead matchup into this. Like, the normal leads would have been this or Cinderace Swampert. Cinderace Swampert would not have really worked out too well here, because you can just redirect the flip turn immediately. And the other thing is, if I knock out Togekiss, then regular Swampert just has an Ice Beam. Or sorry, not Ice Beam. We don't have Ice Beam. We have Ice Beam. I guess that's not as good. But let's see. Ideally, we can KO Togekiss turn 1. I guess if Togekiss maxes here, we're in a lot of trouble. That might be a max Togekiss. How would I have played around this, then? Yeah, wow. I really thought it'd be support-oriented, but I feel like I'm playing Series 5 right now. Like, Togekiss, Sun. What a throwback. Good play by my opponent. I really thought it would be a more support-oriented Togekiss. So if we get crit here, it might be doomed. Okay, they protect Garchomp, though. That's good. I wonder if a crit through Friend Guard still KOs. And I also wonder if this does over 50%. Let's find out. That's very good damage. If they targeted Clef, like, we just win. But I think it's gotta be Zapdos. The question is whether they get a crit or not. Are you crit kiss in the first place? Oh, we're Koba Berry. We're fine. I forgot about the Koba. Okay, that's actually huge. Because even if you crit here, then I think we're okay. Look at that, dude. Zapdos is so good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, that's huge. That is huge. I don't think Garchomp is honestly a threat at all. Like, I don't really care because I have Friend Guard, so I'm just going to Helping Hand Airstream again. I think you probably Max Guard the Togekiss, but... Okay, we take those. I don't think like the game was necessarily over, but my opponent was only going to get one max move off there, so it would have been really tough for them, I think. I honestly even forgot about the Koba, but we had the Koba plus no crit, which meant just a turn 1 victory. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one. That's where the resist barriers can be so big. I honestly just wasn't expecting Togekiss to max there, though. Wow, what is this? I actually was playing for fun the other day, and I played against Pheromosa, Glastrier. And if you see that combination, you should just expect Speed Swap immediately. Now, what's interesting here is that there could be a weakness policy on 2 different Pokemon, the Dragapult and the Glastrier. I think it's more likely on Dragapult because there's a Mimikyu, so it's probably Self-Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu into Weakness Policy Dragapult, and then Focus Sash Pheromosa, Speed Swap, Coaching, Protect, and then 4th Attack. Feint was what I went up against last time when I played against that duo with Life Orb on the Glastrier. So, Clef has to be led here, because we need the redirection support, I think. Wait. What if I just went Swampert Cinderace? No, that doesn't work, right? Because your Glastrier... If you go Pheromosa Glastrier, that's really bad. Is it just a triple Zapdos game today? It might be. Torkoal is interesting here. But my opponent has Fini, so I don't want to get baited into yawning when I don't need to. This may be... Instead of Swampert, like, I bring Cinderace and Rillaboom. So, like, maybe we just go Clef Zapdos all 3 games today. Clef Zapdos, Cinderace, Rillaboom seems okay. I like that. I feel like Zapdos... I mean, Zapdos hits everything on my opponent's team with Max Airstream for neutral or super effective damage, so that's already a good start. Yeah, we just haven't ran into the best matchups for Swampert and Cinderace, and you do have to avoid a lot of things, right? You have to avoid things that are just faster than those Pokemon, so... Today we ran into Venusaur... Although, ironically, Venusaur didn't even come out in those first 2 games. But seeing it in Team Preview means you can't lead Scarf Swampert. What's it going to be? Mimikyu Pult. Okay, that's fine. That's honestly very okay. Because the thing about Dragapult that's so bad for my opponent right now, it's definitely going to be a Follow Me turn 1. The thing that's really bad for Dragapult right now is that if you want to max it, you have to set up... You basically end up giving me an attack boost. Unless you max Airstream, I guess. But that's not that scary. The only thing I'm worried about here is max Airstream and then like Dragapult just Phantom Forces. Because honestly, I don't think Dragapult maxes here. But I should still respect the Self-Shadow Sneak option. The thing is, my opponent could Trick Room right now, actually. Yeah, I'm actually just going to follow me Brave Bird. I don't want to max here. Yep, they don't max the Dragapult. They actually switch out Glastrier probably then. Okay, into Fini. That works for me. Yeah, I didn't want to max the Zapdos here because I think it's kind of a waste if I'm not taking damage this turn. The Follow Me was just so that I don't get completely cheesed by Self-Shadow Sneak anyway. I didn't really have a better play here. This might be tough though because I think Trick Room will go up. If Trick Room doesn't go up, I think we're actually in really good shape, but... Based off how this early game has started, I can't help but think it will go up. Which is fine still. But I didn't bring Torkoal. Nah, Torkoal wouldn't be great here anyway. Yep, Trick Room went up. See, because the thing is, if I Dynamax Zapdos and I Airstream, I'm in a really weird spot the next couple of turns. Honestly, Rillaboom may max in this game. There's gotta be a Glastrier coming in, though, I think. What to do? I could obviously go for a safe Follow Me. I could double Protect, but I don't want Fini Calm Minding in front of me. I have not revealed Helping Hand. Could switch in Rillaboom. I'm leaning towards just Helping Hand Brave Bird here into Fini, expecting Mimikyu to switch out. But it doesn't switch. I'd probably get doubled up into here then on Zapdos. This was kind of an aggressive play. They go for Muddy Water, though, and Zapdos dodges it, which might be huge, because I think now we might survive a play rough. That's Specs, I think. They targeted Mimikyu anyway. Okay, so it didn't really end up mattering. Well, that's big. Especially if you are Specs, you don't have enough investment to survive this. Close. Okay. I can't complain about that, though. Wow, it's not Specs. Hold on. I guess the Clef is just really defensively bulky. I'll take that, though. That's already a turn of Trick Room down, right? Yeah, it's max HP, max defense. Okay, makes sense. I'm down to double protect here. The thing is, I kind of expected them to switch out last turn. Like, I feel like if you're not switching out into Glastrier right now, do you even have it in the back? Right now, it doesn't look like it, to be honest. Oh, actually, I think a better play here was to protect Clef, switch out into Rillaboom. Actually, never mind. My opponent just disproved that because they doubled up onto that. Honestly, I think Follow Me Brave Bird works. Does it KO the Fini, though? I mean, Helping Hand gave me enough damage for, what, like 90%-ish? We just need to do half of that, basically, with Brave Bird, so I think we should be good. Why do I care about KOing Fini, though? I have a Rillaboom in the back. Alright, I'm down to Follow Me Brave Bird the Mimikyu, actually. Even if you Muddy Water, play Rough. That actually might not even KO the, Yeah, they go Moonblast, which is the right play. I think they probably just Moonblast, play Roughed into the Zapdos slot again, because that covers for all your options. Okay. Let's see if Brave Bird KOs Mimikyu here. I don't think so, but if you're max HP, sorry, max attack, max speed, maybe. Unfortunately not enough. That's okay. We can go out into Rillaboom now. Man, this is such an interesting game. Because Trick Room's ending soon, too. Honestly, with Trick Room ending soon, like, low-key, part of me is thinking of still maxing Zapdos so I can Airstream. There's only one turn of Trick Room left. I can get a KO with Glide here this turn for sure. Man, maxing Zapdos here seems kind of crazy, but the thing is that it helps me against Dragapult. Because my opponent might go Fini into Dragapult, self-Shadow Sneak immediately right now. Yeah, actually, if they pull that play off, I kind of lose. I also don't think you'd KO us anyway. Yeah, I'm going to actually Dynamax here. This might seem kind of crazy, but I could see Fini switching up here. My opponent could also just double up onto Zapdos here. Like, they have options, and... Is that Fini switching out? Let's go! That's huge. That's so huge. Regardless of whatever comes in, that's huge. Yeah, nice. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Ooh, that was a tough play to make. But I think I just lose otherwise if I don't max here. Because, sure, I have Cinderace and Rillaboom to max, but either of those get wrecked by Dragapult, especially if you get the Shadow Sneak off. Now the other question is, how slow is your Mimikyu? If Rillaboom outspeeds you under Trick Room, I think my opponent's in a lot of trouble. Okay, let's see. Nice. I have to say, I feel really good about that play. I'm proud of that one. That was, yeah, nice. I think that puts us in a phenomenal position. Oh, that just one-shots Dragapult. Nice. Wow, Zapdos was amazing today. Holy cow. Good job, Zapdos. Seriously. Yeah. And this is perfect, because Trick Room just ended. Now the question is whether Moonblast would have KO'd Zapdos from the range we were at. I don't know. My opponent will be able to change the terrain, but to be honest, Grassy Glide probably still KOs. Let's see what the last one is. It's Glastrier. Okay. Glastrier actually still makes this somewhat scary, I think. Because now you can Dynamax the Glastrier. But I'm just surprised my opponent never hard switched out into that earlier, honestly. Knockoff. Cinderace in the back. Oh, if I set up Sun, actually, I think we're good, right? I think it's fine to just Grassy Glide into Tapu Fini and go for a Max Flare onto Glastrier. Oh, no, but they'll Hailstorm in return. Alright, never mind. Yeah, this still isn't one, because Dynamax Glastrier is a huge threat to us, I would say. I think regardless, it's fine to Knuckle here and Glide. The only question, I guess, is whether Fini protects or not. I think it actually is going to protect. Yeah, Glastrier is just such a big offensive threat, and, like, now you get 3 full turns of it. So even with that play that I made, like, it's just a testament to how good late game Glastrier is. We at least sold out Trick Room though, which was good. Yeah. This actually may cost me then by not targeting the Fini. Okay, I mean, we'll see. The thing is, I give myself an attack boost here, and I have Cinderace in the back with Pyro Ball, right? But if I went Glide into the Glastrier here, I think it'd definitely be in KO range. And I might have just activated a Policy, but to be honest, it doesn't matter at this point. Oh, it's not Policy. That's interesting. But it's actually better for my opponent to have any item other than Policy here. They're going to Hailstorm into Rillaboom, though. Okay, nice. I suspected they might want to do that, because I was thinking very heavily of max guarding with the Zapdos there. So the thing is, now I have an attack boost on the Zapdos, and you give me a free switch in as well, which is huge. So we can go out into... their Life Orb. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, now I can just go out into Cinderace. Yeah. Oh, I guess the only problem with going out into Cinderace is I can't Flare first, but I think... I'm just wondering if my opponent's win con here is a double protect. I think it might be. So if it's a double protect, like, I can double up onto the Glastrier here. But Glastrier could obviously just protect here. So the question is whether I want to play around the double protect win con, because right now we have a 2/3 chance, or I guess I have to account for Pyro Ball missing as well, but basically Airstream into Fini, Pyro Ball is really safe. But if I want to read into them going for a double protect and them getting it, doubling up into Glastrier guarantees us the game. But if they don't double protect, Fini can just knock us out, which is bad. Especially if they just protect Glastrier here. Honestly, I kind of think they're going to double protect. But I don't want to throw it, because if I call it incorrectly, we kind of just lose. Yeah, they went for it, though. Nicely done. I don't know. I didn't think we were in a position to really predict it properly there, but that may cost us the game. Actually, I think that does cost us the game now, because I don't knock out the Glastrier. Oh, so close, too. And they're going to Steel Spike. Does that KO? It does. Alright, that's game then. So this, yeah, I mean, I called out the scenario here, right? Like, I can guaranteed win by doubling up onto Glastrier if I'm reading into a double protect, but I'll take the odds here in the end. Like, they need to get the double. And once again, if I improperly predict it and I double up onto Glastrier as Fini actually knocks out one of my Pokemon, I instantly lose the game. So I'd rather take the win con that just gives me slightly better odds, I would say. I think that will be game, though, unfortunately, at this point. Ooh, actually, I can see one win con here. Yeah, wait. I think this is actually maybe still doable. Especially because there are 3 turns of Hail left. We have Bounce, which also changes our typing, which means Fini doesn't one-shot us. So I think it's actually Bounce into Glastrier. Oh, but then, if I Bounce into Glastrier, they just protect Glastrier next turn, right? Wait, why? Isn't it just an Iron Head here, then, into Glastrier? I guess they could protect Glastrier here. Oh, they don't protect. Okay, I think we still win with Cinderace, as long as we don't get a Muddy Water Accuracy Drop or crit. Okay, nice. I had a little bit of... I had a slight heart attack because of yesterday's match, where I went that heavy slam into Glastrier when I should have... Yeah, they just Muddy Water. Okay, if there's no crit or accuracy drop, we win. Nice. Okay, no crit. And no accuracy drop. Okay, we're good. Whew, let's go, Cinderace. Regular Cinderace comes up huge for us here. All done. So we can just Iron Head now, and that'll be game. That was scary, though. Yeah, that was really scary, because I thought I had this locked up, basically. I even called the double protect play, but the thing is... Like, the thing is, in that worst-case scenario, 2/3 of the time, they don't get the double protect, we just insta-win the game. 1/3 of the time, obviously, what happens, but we still ended up winning. Now, if I read super hard into the double protect play, my opponent was like, I'm going to big brain my opponent, and like they can still throw this game, and I double up on a Glastrier on a max guard, we actually just like insta lose the game, I think. So risk versus reward was not worth it for us there, I think. But that was a fun set of games, honestly. I think the Clef Zapdos combo, I'd played like 4 practice games before recording this just to get the hang of the team, and I was very heavily prioritizing Swampert Cinderace, and I think that mode, while really fun, you can't force it super hard. You have to bring it out in the right matchups, and in all the matches today, it would not have really worked based off what our opponents had in team preview. It kind of reminds me of like Colossal stuff, where it's like, if your opponent doesn't have a definitive answer, you will probably just sweep through in the first 3 turns with that setup. But if they have a definitive answer, you have to predict what their answer is going to be. And granted, you have some room to work with this Swampert Cinderace combination, because no one's going to see Flip Turn into Weakness Policy Cinderace. But even then, it's like, people might just respect Swampert as a threat alone, right? And like, if Venusaur came out in those first 2 games as a lead, we're in a lot of trouble. This third match was really scary, I think, because Trick Room is not a good matchup for this team. If you can get Trick Room and a really good sweeper like Glastrier in immediately, it's rough. So I think my opponent had the opportunity to potentially just hard switch into Glastrier, but that's the nice thing about Zapdos, it applies pressure offensively, right? So I think my opponent was probably hesitant to switch out into Glastrier on turn 1 because they were worried about a close combat. But granted, I think they were in a position to... I think if they had just hard switched into Glastrier after Trick Room went up on turn 1, this game would have been really difficult to win, because Glastrier kind of just sweeps through everything on this team, even the max options. Like, I had Rillaboom, Cinderace, Clef, and the Zapdos, and Dragapult actually, the Glastrier actually hits all of those for super effective. Assuming you have Quake instead of Knuckle, but regular Cinderace isn't that good into it, and even if I Dynamax Cinderace, like, it gets crushed by the Glastrier. So yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, that's one of the tougher things about getting up Trick Room on turn 1 without getting a free switch in into your Trick Room user. And so one of the reasons why I went Helping Hand Brave Bird was so that if Glastrier switched in for the Fini slot, I'd get a lot of damage there. But I think if my opponent switched Mimikyu out into the Glastrier, right after Trick Room went up, this would have been a really, really tough game to win. But, can't blame my opponent for not switching out there, because I think they were definitely respecting the potential read of close combat into Mimikyu. That would have been a really hard read for me to make, though, so I don't think I ever would have made that. Would rather have just get guaranteed damage. I also think if they actually max guarded the Glastrier in the end, we also would have lost that game. So that end game was also, like, even though, as soon as I KO Glastrier, I was like, we win. The scary thing is that if Glastrier just, like, there's actually another mind game on top of that where I have to read a potential max guard on Glastrier, because if it max guards, then I could potentially target Fini, and then that would insta-win me the game, but if it doesn't and I called incorrectly, then I would lose the game. There's also a slight chance that Glastrier didn't even have max guard, because if it has Steel Spike, you obviously want Ice. Like, Ice, Fighting, Ground, Protect is the normal set, so if you have Steel Spike, maybe that Steel Spike replaces Protect. I mean, of course, could replace Knuckle or Quake as well, but because of Steel Spike, there's a slightly higher chance, in my eyes, that you're not running Protect on that set, so yeah. But I didn't even really talk about that in the end game, but that was definitely a possibility. Either way, that was a fun set of games. I honestly did not expect to just go with Zapdos Clefairy all 3 games, but it was a really, really good combination, so I'm glad to get some really solid games in with Zapdos in today's episode. Kind of funny, it reminds me of that Tapu Koko team we just used, where, like, in my head, I was like, Koko is the main win con in all these matches, but then it barely came out in that first episode. So hopefully tomorrow we get some good games in with Swampert and Cinderace, but hopefully you guys enjoy the games with Zapdos today. So thanks as always for watching. Thank you to Ryota for the team. Once again, he is linked in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.